Hello and good morning. Long time no see on this channel, guys. I was a little sick. I still am a little sick, but it's getting better. And I thought I'm gonna hit you guys with another reaction. I just came across this video. This is a little older, a month old, and it's apparently US citizen that well known on YouTube, 128,000 subscribers. He lives in Germany, I believe. I'm sure we're gonna get to know him a little better with this video. And he's talking about like freedom or how it feels to live in Germany compared to the United States. And he is a white man, so I assume it doesn't make like a huge difference for him. But we'll find out in this video right now. Thank you for watching it with me. Let's go. I hope you're. By the way, I hope you guys are well, and good to see you.
Now, if I really think about it, at this point in my life, I think that I feel more free
in.
Do I feel more free in Germany or the USA?
Does it really make a difference for like for me? If I would move to the United States, would it make a difference at the moment? I mean, I understand what's going on in the United States, but I'm as a white male, formerly Christian, you could say, like I have no religion any longer, but formerly Christian white male, it wouldn't make a difference for me, right? Because I'm a very, or I'm the number one citizen, basically. There's no problems I face as the person I am.
As a guy that has plenty
Very
of experience
privileged.
in both countries,
That's
I
what
get
I
this
wanted to
question
say.
asked a lot, and it's something that I think about quite often. Today, we'll answer it. Let's start off with a story.
So back when I was still playing football here in Germany, I was driving myself to football practice on a Vespa. I drove a Vespa at the time, and in a roundabout, I got hit by a car. A 78-year-old woman pulled out when she shouldn't have. I got hit.
Crashed hard and skidded, and
Germans, am I right? Goddamn, dude, they can't drive.
the bike like fell on me in a really weird way. I don't know how I didn't break my leg.
I broke my big toe pretty badly, and it was severe enough that I had to sit out from football for months.
Funny thing was, one of my first reactions when I got hit, when the bystanders came by to come help me, was, "Oh, we need to call an ambulance." And I said, no, do not call an ambulance. I don't need an ambulance.
Oh my god, he thought he's gonna pay for it or what? And that he has to like go into debt or whatever to go to the hospital. I don't know how this works for foreigners with insurance, but I think if you are employed in Germany, he's a football player, so he must be employed somewhere. I'm a German team, I assume. Then he won't be, he won't be paying anything. Period. It's free.
I think this ambulance is coming from me. I don't need it.
We'll get into that a little bit later. Now, the situation of injury was bad enough to where I actually got some money for my pain and suffering. In Germany, it's called Schmerzengeld, your pain money. And my uncle is a lawyer in the United States, and he told me if this were to have happened to me in the US, I probably would have easily gotten like $100,000 in pain and suffering money. But in Germany, I received just 2,000 euros. And looking back on the time, I was a little bummed out. Man, I could have gotten 100 grand for getting hit by a car. Kind of a fair deal. But let's think about it not from my perspective of wanting to get a bunch of money. This old woman, 78 years old, basically had the
78 years old. Here's a hot take, okay? Real quick. If you're that old, maybe you have to get checked if you should drive a car. This might, like, I probably, hopefully I will get that old as well. And I may be thinking different when I'm that old, because I really want to keep driving my car or whatever. If we can teleport around when I'm 78 years old, guys, because I'm sure we're going to get teleportation soon. And, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think you should check yourself, and you maybe even check by the government,
freedom to not get sued into oblivion for a mistake. And I know a lot of times in these situations, insurance is paying, but it can still really screw somebody over if they make a mistake like that and then they get sued. So while it kind of sucked for me that I only got $2,000, you could look at it as citizens are free to not have the threat of being sued into oblivion for every which thing.
There's a safety net for you, yes. And living your life with that kind of safety net gives you a great peace of mind. And I'm glad that we have that. We still have a long way to go here as well. You guys know I really would like to expand that safety net and make it even like thicker for everybody compared to what it is today. But it's at least, there is something, which is nice. Not the music, holy shit.
Now, I've come to learn that Americans and Germans actually think about freedom in two quite different ways.
So what actually really got me thinking about this is we had a day on Quiver where the question of the day was, what makes you feel freedom? And we have a lot of Germans and a lot of Americans on the app, and seeing the different answers from people kind of by country was really eye-opening and interesting. By the way, you should join us on Quiver if you haven't already. It's my social media app. It's free to join. Hope to see you on Quiver for some interesting conversations. So I think the big conclusion from that Quiver day was Americans think about freedom in terms of, I have the freedom to do something, whereas Germans more often think about freedom in terms of, I have the freedom from certain things. There's a saying that's pretty common here in Germany, is that one person's individual freedom stops where another person's starts. So that
that's absolutely correct. Like that's also a difference with free speech. Like a lot of Americans I met and I talked to, they feel like free speech is when you can say whatever the fuck you want to anybody. And we as Germans collectively, or not all of us, obviously, we're not a hive mind or whatever, but we think of it a little bit in a different way. For us, it's like hate speech is not free speech. Certain things are prohibited as well, have to be prohibited. If it's like gross misinformation, or downplaying the Holocaust or, stuff like this, then it has to be prohibited, and it has to be, there has to be legal consequences, because you can't just say whatever the fuck you want if it really hurts certain groups or people, or if it's gross misinformation, and it could, that's just very important.
That's your freedom.
Has to be enforced the right way, of course, which is also difficult, but, it's never easy.
If it comes and infringes upon another person's freedom, okay, that's sort of the barrier, and that's how Germans like to think about it. Guns. In the United States, I am more free to own a gun.
That's true.
In Germany, I am more free from having to worry that a person I get in an altercation with on the street might have a gun.
That's true as well.
How about something like driving? Well, in the US, you can get your driver's license earlier, age 16, and it's a lot easier and a lot cheaper. So you could argue, oh, you're more free when it comes to driving in the US. But then, once you get your license in Germany, you can drive on the Autobahn in certain stretches as fast as you want. Talk about freedom. We can't do that in the States.
Another freedom that I feel very strongly in Germany is
being able to live a life and get around without having to own a car. Since we've moved here to Heidelberg, we've not used our car at all. It's parked like
Heidelberg, by the way, beautiful city. I've been there multiple times. A lot of students. A very old city, old school. A great public transportation. Can only recommend.
3 miles outside of the city. We just get it when we're leaving town. Being able to get around on foot or in public transportation, well, try that in the United States. It's pretty hard. So taxes in general, sort of a middle-class person will pay less in taxes in the United States than they will in Germany. You get to keep more of your money. So the American mentality, okay, I pay less in taxes and I am free to do with that money what I want with it. The German mentality, okay, I pay some more in taxes, but I am free from having to worry about taking care of all sorts of different private scenarios. I mentioned previously how a few years ago we were raising money on this channel for a fire department in Oregon to fight wildfires. Some of the criticisms that I got were, why would I give my private money to a fire department that should be funded by taxes? When it comes to entrepreneurship and starting a business, I feel more free in the United States.
That is probably so fucking true. In Germany, it's such a pain in the ass to start a business. Like, I've been through it as well, and it's so difficult, and there's so much paperwork. And in the United States, you guys have apps for everything, and everything's digital, and it's so much easier, And for us over here, dude, you wouldn't believe it. Like you actually have to go to certain to certain government, what is it called? Governmental buildings where these, I'm sorry, were and talk to people there instead of just like using your phone, going to an app, and sometimes you have to fill out a form like literally on paper and then mail it there or whatever. It's so annoying, and I really am a little envious for I wish it would be here as easy as it is in the States. Yeah.
It is quite easy, simple, and cheap to start an LLC in the US. I've done it multiple times. Whereas in Germany, it is a bit more complicated. And to start a GmbH, you need 25,000 euros minimum to start it, which you do not need in the United States. And this is kind of my world. This is where I make a living. But I'm still able to benefit from that when I go back to the States.
Now, there's a big type of freedom here in Germany that I think is nice, but I don't get a benefit from. But first, a quick message from the sponsor of today's video, CyberGhost VPN.
CyberGhost is a world-leading VPN, a virtual private network that has over 10,000 servers in 100+ different countries that you can switch your IP address in between. CyberGhost helps keep you protected and anonymous online. Anytime I'm accessing Wi-Fi, especially in public, I turn on CyberGhost before doing so. In this day and age,
I wonder if this code still
want to
works.
get your information and they want to sell it, and CyberGhost
Video
helps
is so
protect
old
you
already.
from that. So not only does it help protect you and keep you anonymous online, but it also helps you watch geo-block content wherever you may be. I'm here in Germany, and a lot of the platforms that I like to watch are geo-blocked in Germany, so I switch my IP address to the United States and watch platforms like HBO and Paramount+. And for my German viewers, if you want to watch Formula 1 again for free, you switch your IP address to Austria and watch on the ORF channel. It's the most recommended VPN on Trustpilot with over 38 million users worldwide, plus has a strict no logs policy, so CyberGhost doesn't even know what you're doing online. It works on every major platform, plus one account can be used on up to 7 different devices, so you can share it with friends and family. If you use the link in the description, you'll get a great deal on CyberGhost, 83% off, paying just over €2 a month, plus 4 months free, plus a 45-day money-back guarantee, so it's risk-free. It's an awesome product for you that I highly recommend, and it also helps support me and this YouTube channel if you sign up using the link in the description below. So check out CyberGhost. Palm trees? Is this Heidelberg or Hawaii? So I think a lot of people in Germany
looks beautiful, right?
Freedom from work.
The river.
There's sort of a security, especially for people who are employees. Employees have a lot of rights here. You get a lot of vacation days. It's very difficult.
Yeah. That's very important for Germans. Yes, that's true. That's why there are strikes and there are unions and there are like you have to hold companies accountable. To not fuck over their workers. They get fucked over enough and they have to be held accountable, and that's why we have a strong unionization over here.
To fire somebody from their job. Now, I don't get a benefit from any of that security because I'm not an employee. I am an entrepreneur with Quiver, and then I am a freelancer, contractor with some companies to do podcasting and live hosting and video projects, stuff like that. So I do not benefit from that security or that freedom that a lot of people in Germany have. However, I do benefit and feel a sense of security and therefore a sense of freedom from the healthcare situation here in Germany. That's why, going back to the story at the beginning, I didn't want them to call an ambulance for me because my American instincts are, oh, this is going to be so expensive. Now, nothing is free. I don't live in La La Land. Economics are real. Everything must be paid for in one way or another. The healthcare system is paid for by taxes here in Germany, but it was nice for me, kind of a younger guy not making very much money, to not have to worry about that when I got into an accident. You hear these horror stories of Americans who have to go into a severe medical debt or they end up going bankrupt because of medical issues. And then you always see these GoFundMes from people trying to raise money privately.
It's crazy to think about, right? That you guys or that Americans have like on paper the richest country in the world and one of the few countries, at least with us in the West, that have no public healthcare system for everybody. This is so weird,
For healthcare issues, which is just something that you don't have to worry about here. Now, if you have the money in the United States, then I think your freedom is almost unlimited. You have access to the best of everything. You can have access to the best medical care and best doctors that money can buy, but not everybody can afford to access that. Now, if I really think about it, at this point in my life, I think that I feel more free in Germany. And I think back to what I answered on Quiver, what makes me feel free? And me being able to spend my time doing what I want to do is what gives me a sense of freedom. And I do feel like in Germany, I'm able to do that. Just talking with friends and people that I know in the United States, I feel like I would have to make about 3 times the amount of money that I do now in order to have a similar lifestyle as we have here in high.
Yeah, I think so as well. If you have the money and if you make the money in the United States, I think you live like a fantastic life, you know, because capitalism runs rampant and you can afford everything you've wanted and you guys have like everything. But if you don't, then you're kind of fucked, right? Like you're seriously like fucked.
Heidelberg. And in order to do that, I would have to work like crazy. And I think that would take away from this feeling of I get to spend my time doing what I want to do.
I think a little bit of democratic socialism would really help, you know? We have it over here as well, and it does help the little guy, and it would help you guys as well, or it would help the United States as well, you know? And maybe a little bit more deregulation would help Germany as well, you know? Like, we should learn from one another, probably, and adapt the positives and abolish the negatives. Easier said than done, of course, but...
So I think for just kind of like a normal, sort of middle-class type person like myself, one feels more free in Germany.
Don't forget to click on the link in the description to get the special discount. The
Don't forget to
CyberGhost
click the link,
VPN.
guys. Thank you for watching today. It was a little bit of a shorter one, but I hope you enjoyed it regardless. It's not even that short. 16 minutes. Holy shit. Yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one. Bye.